welcome to yet another video on All Hail the Ale. As mentioned earlier in the Spitfire video, tonight, or today rather, represents my dad's 63rd birthday, and I thought I would do a few of his favourite beers tonight. We started obviously with Spitfire, and we are now on to Hobgoblin. Dad always liked a bit of a Hobgoblin. It's one of the early ones that I tried. I say early. It's it's one of the earlier beers of these that he liked, that I tried and thoroughly enjoyed. What can I tell you about it? Well, it's a ruby beer. It weighs in at 5.2% and it's brewed by Wychwood. And the bump on the back of the bottle says, this legendary Hobgoblin is a blend of smooth, rich flavours from chocolate and crystal malts, combined with a refreshing bitterness from English Fuggles hops and a dash of citrus aroma from Styrian Goldings. A beer full of mischievous character. Wychwood Brewery blends old traditions and new innovations to produce beers with real character. For more information and to view our legendary Hobgoblin merchandise collection, please visit www.wychwood.co.uk, and that's courtesy of Jeff Drew, the head brewer. It's 2.6 units in this 500ml bottle. It's a nice sized bottle. I love the artwork. I love the mischievous little Hobgoblin going on. And it does tell you a lot about it, really, the character of the beer. It is mischievous. It's a wonderful marketing ploy. Is the old the Hobgoblin artwork. You've got the King Goblin, which is the stronger one. You've got the Porter, which is a Black Witch, which is really nicely styled in terms of the artwork. It's brilliant. I like it a lot. It appeals to kind of that kind of fantasy side of me. I think Lord of the Rings and all that, and it appeals to that side of me. So there's not much more I can tell you about the beer. This is what it looks like. Let's see what it tastes like. Oh, what else can I? Oh yes, there is a little goblin on the bottle cap. Tonight we're going to be using the Hobgoblin glass. So let's turn it so you can see the colour of the beer. It's darker than amber. As they say, it is a ruby. There we are. So that's a beautiful colour. It's nice and dark, nice and rich. And as they say, Hobgoblin. It's the unofficial beer of Halloween. I know we're a little bit past Halloween now, but who cares? It's rich, it's dark, it's malty, it's fruity. There's a slight citric edge, not a huge amount, but it's there. Let's say you've got a bit of a head. It's like an ivory colour for those who are interested, about a finger's worth. Head actually makes very little to no difference at all to the beer. Some people like it, some people aren't bothered, but I'll tell you about it anyway. As for the flavour, there is something very rich. You can get the chocolate, you get the bitterness from the Fuggles, and it how can I describe it? It mellows, but not hugely so. There's trace elements of everything that hits you up front as it mellows, and it finishes off quite boozy, and I like that. It's kind of backwards in the flavour profile for many that I like, in as much as the booziness is at the end. I mean, it's not huge, the level of booze, it's 5.2%, but it's at the end as opposed to the beginning. Like I say, that chocolate bitterness up front, that kind of dark chocolate with the Fuggles bitterness coming through. It's a damn good beer. And I can see why my dad liked it. It works with a lot of the flavours that he likes. The whiskies he liked had those kind of real bitter, smoky edges to them. And there is an element of smoke, I suppose you could say, in some of the aromas that you get when you're drinking this beer. And yeah, it's a very, very pleasant beer. Absolutely, I'll buy it. Well, I've obviously bought this bottle. I've bought many over the years. I've bought more Hobgoblin than I care to remember. As for a score, well, it's hoppy, so that gives it a good score for me. There's that nice, rich, chocolatey malt flavour, and the bitterness as well. It's balanced in a way. Now, when I talk about balance, I know people say, oh, it's bitter and it's sweet. Somewhere in the middle, you get balance. For me, a beer that is too balanced can be boring. It's got nothing about it, no character, nothing that stands out as saying, yeah, I really like it because. But this one, it is balanced because you've got the bitterness and you've got a little bit of sweetness, but they don't meet in the middle. They sit off to the side, so you've got a bit more bitterness than many beers, and the sweetness is just off centre to my right, shall we say. Bitter on the left, sweet on the right. It's ever so slightly off, so there's less sweetness than there is bitterness, so there is balance in as much as there's a bit of both, but they're not equal, if that makes sense. And that makes for a beer that has character for me. You've got more of one than the other, but they're both present, and I like that. Some beers are too balanced, like I say, they're boring, whereas Hobgoblin has got it right. They've got more bitterness, less sweetness, but you can detect it all, and that works. And that's what makes me give it a very good score. For me, 4.5, without question. It deserves that, every last little bit of it, because it's been around for a while, quite some time, and rightly so, because it's a very good beer. Like I say, it's balanced, it's flavoursome, it's readily available, and yes, I know there's plenty of people out there that think, oh, big breweries, don't want to know. I like to dabble in both the real ale and the craft beer industry, because there's good to be had in both, and this is a very, very good example of what can be had from one of the bigger brewers in Wychwood, and I will continue to buy this until the day they stop making it, because it's a very, very good beer. And I think that's where I'll leave it, ladies and gents. So thank you very much for watching. I very much appreciate your likes and subscriptions. I'd love to know what you think of Hobgoblin. If you've had it, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you've not tried it, I very much recommend you get out and buy a bottle. This and the King Goblin, because they are both brilliant. So thank you again for watching. Your likes and subscriptions are very much appreciated. This has been Hobgoblin from Wychwood Brewery. This is the beer. I've been Nick, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.